Hey everyone, welcome to The Alternates, a basketball show for the others where we like to showcase independent music and discuss all things basketball. I've got a really fun show lined up for you today. Clayton is still on tour, which means that we have another very special guest coming in. A good friend of mine. Can't wait to get him in here and discuss some of these headlines with him, which we will be getting into along with Underground Network. Start today, and then we're actually checking in with Clayton on the road to play Duo Jam because there's nobody else that I want to beat more than Clayton. So I made him jump on camera while he's on tour. We will be getting into that and more right after this song, which is Alone Again by Crow People off their 1987 Cloud Songs EP on Meantime Records. Hope y'all enjoy it. See you in just a little bit.
Within my skull, I'm by myself, alone inside. I spend my silence with my
What is up, y'all? Welcome to The Alternates. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, Brian Cullen, and with me is a very special guest. Our friend Clayton is still on tour, so the guests keep coming. And today we've got a good friend of mine. He's an NBA photographer and photo assistant. hardcore savant, and just all around badass, Tyler Ross. Tyler, thank you for joining us on the Alternates.
Thank you for having me.
So excited to have you here. Before we jump into our first segment, jump into everything that Tyler does, just want to take a quick second, ask you if you've not done so yet to subscribe to the show on YouTube. That's youtube.com/thealternates. If you're catching us as a podcast, go ahead and subscribe on whatever platform that is. And if there is a rating and review option there, hit us with one of those. The algorithms, we are just stacked against them. So all these little things go a long way in helping out, like liking the video. That really helps us out as well. If you want to get a hold of us, you can do so by emailing thealternateshoop@gmail.com. You can follow the show on TikTok @thealternatesNBA, or you can reach out to us by leaving a comment in the comment section of the video, and we will get back. As I've said before, I literally don't do anything else. I just sit there and refresh the comments, waiting for somebody to reach out from the void and make me feel human just once in my life. Please leave a comment. Tyler, how are you doing, man? So happy to have you here.
I'm excellent. I'm happy to be here hanging with you.
So I gotta say, when Clayton and I first came up with the idea of this show, you know, we both are punk dudes that love basketball. He's a huge baseball guy as well. So just sports in general. And we talked about that dichotomy, right? Like growing up, being a punk dude. For me, I was like a closeted NBA fan. You know, all my friends were like, fuck jocks and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, totally. And I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch Darius Miles on my TV. You know, like I had that kind of experience, like quietly keeping it to myself. Exactly. Yeah, the knuckleheads. And so we talked about this show concept and presenting sports in a way that felt relatable to us, because we didn't, you know, I don't turn on Sports Center and go, hey, those are my guys. Like, I feel like I could hang out with them and have a conversation. And so when we came up with the concept, honestly, genuinely, you were the first person that came to mind, because you and I became friends through a mutual, our friend Katie. Shout out Katie if she's watching. And I immediately was like, oh, this is like a straight edge hardcore dude. Like, that's not what I was expecting, because it's rare, or to me, it feels like rare to meet like other kind of alts is what I call us in the sports world. And so you and I became friends. You do the photography, you help set up, strike, shoot, all of that stuff for all the games at Crypto. Which, have you adjusted to that yet, or do you still say Staples Center?
I just say the arena.
The arena, okay.
The arena, because it's just
way more formal.
The arena. Where you headed to work? The arena.
Fair enough. But so you and I started kind of getting to know each other there in the media room. For people that don't know, when you're in media, there's a room in like the belly of the arena with a big dining room, and we all kind of eat dinner together and all of that. So you and I would eat dinners together, and we would talk sports a little bit, but I just latched on because I was like, oh, I could talk to this guy about hardcore and
virtually anything.
Movies. Nerdy shit. Like, I could just nerd out with you. And so I knew I wanted to get you on the show at some point. It took kicking Clayton out and forcing his band to go on tour, which I completely curated the entire thing so that I could get you on the show. So I'm so excited to have you here.
You did. Sorry, Clayton.
So I've got a couple questions for you. One, obviously your job now is in the sports world.
Right.
Did you grow up a sports fan, or were you like one of the like hardcore dudes that was like, yeah, I don't fuck with that stuff?
No, I actually grew up a sports fan. You know, I know that people hate the Yankees, but a lot of people love the Yankees. So when I was a kid, you know, I was a baseball fan.
Okay.
And so baseball was always the first and most important sport.
Yeah.
Even though I followed basketball and football, I dabbled. So like the Kobe and Shaq years were ones that I actually, you know, focused on and paid attention to. And then I kind of lost track of it. But yeah, I've always been a sports guy, but dabbling in punk and hardcore, it's rare to find. So you latch on to anyone that you can find that actually, you know, gives a shit.
Totally.
Sports.
Hardcore especially too is so funny to me, because there is this mentality of like, no, like that's not us. Like that, like, you know, fuck sports or pro sports or whatever. And then I look at him like, you have basketball shorts on and a jersey. I mean, I might say Madball, but it's still a jersey. Like, that's so funny to me.
Yeah, the world that they, you know, that they say that they hate, you know, that they're actually repping these.
Yeah, they mirror the style of it. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's leaked in.
So funny. So you grew up more of a baseball fan.
Yes.
When you got into this job, shooting basketball games, being around the NBA, did it make you more of it? Like, were you like, oh shit, I love the NBA now?
Yeah, I think that being into it made me more of a fan, you know, like
watching it night in and night out.
Yeah. I think like the culture itself was shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
I only owned like a pair of shoes, like one pair of shoes, you know, a pair of dress shoes.
Yeah.
And then you wore that until it wore out, and then you got another pair of shoes. I wasn't really big on shoes, but now I have like 4 or 5 pairs of shoes.
So it made you a sneakerhead.
Yes. And I'm not really one, but now I could say that the culture is like rubbed off on me.
100%. Dude, I used to wear a pair of Vans until a hole popped up, and then I would duct tape the hole, and I would wait until the duct tape stopped. Like, I wore them until literally my feet were hanging out of them. And being a basketball fan, look, I'm not a sneakerhead, but there's an aspect that will just creep its way in.
Yeah.
Like, I have a pair of Jordans in my closet. Actually, they're in my trunk in case I ever like play a game. Like, if I'm driving around, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go shoot some ball. I keep a basketball and a pair of Jordans in my trunk. Like, it will happen. Yeah. Mind you, I've got a pair of Crocs on right now because I just enjoy chilling. But like, yeah, like I fully relate to that. It's very funny how like the aspects of like that culture will kind of like creep its way into like yours, and you find that you're picking these things up, because I mean, it is one of the biggest parts of basketball is like the shoe wear, and you look at them long enough, you're kind of like, those are actually kind of sick. I would get a pair of those.
Yeah, but I mean, even working in it, right? So seeing these guys every day, day in and day out, it rubs off on you as well, because you're learning all the names. Mm-hmm. You're seeing who's hot, who's not at certain times. You're rooting them all. You want them all to be great and continue to be good. But it's like you see these players, and all of a sudden I'm obsessing over, you know, almost being like a proud parent. You just like want them to do well. It's you're seeing it through like the ground level.
When you're getting like the human side of it too. Like, these are people, not just athletes on my television.
That's what I try to remind people. Yeah. They're human at the same. They can't perform like to the best abilities. They want to, but it can't always end up that way. But being a part of this world and working in this world has really shown me the human side of it, but also has brought me back into the sport, to where I now pay way more attention. Yeah. More attention than I should. And but it's really cool. And I'm really like happy to be in my element as a, you know, photo editor, photographer. I get to rig, I get to do all these like cool things, and I get to see these guys witness greatness like right in front of me. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, truly, like, in my opinion, the greatest era of basketball is right now, and we're getting to witness it up front, and like you get to like really witness it up front and personal. So that's cool. Well, you said maybe more than you should. That's great. It's going to lend itself to the show. So I'm very excited to hear that. And you also said seeing who's hot and who's not. So I'm going to take us from our first segment, which is hot or not, where we're going to rate how hot some of these players are physically. I'm kidding. We're not going to do that. I'm still down though. We know who the good lookers are. You know?
I mean, Kelly Oubre is winning every time. It doesn't matter. There's no contest. So before we get into headliners, there's one more thing I wanted to talk to you about, because I have this obsession that has existed for years. So there's a photo. This is why I'm asking you, because I consider you somewhat of an expert in this field. Yeah. One of the most iconic, I'm not even going to say basketball, one of the most iconic sports photos of all time. Yeah. It gets recirculated constantly. It pops back up. It's probably one of the most recognizable photos, especially in the NBA. And I noticed this one little thing, and I can't unsee it. And I've put my conspiracy theories online about it. And so I'm going to pull this up behind us right here. But there's this picture for everybody listening. It's Dwayne Wade with the lob up to LeBron. Everybody knows this photo. It's been redone 1,000 times and memes and all of that. Yeah. But if you look at Dwayne Wade's right hand, his pinky is missing. And I think that it was photoshopped so that you could see LeBron's shoulder. I've had people yell at me that no, his pinky is like, it's just kind of bent towards the camera, and so that's why you can't see it. It looks weird, but I don't see any crease in his palm that you would get if you bent your finger. I don't see the shadowing. There should be some kind of shadow from that finger. What is it photoshopped? I need to know your opinion on that. I need an expert to weigh on, because this is all I can see now.
Oh, thanks a lot. You just rubbed off on me. Now it's like, is it? Now I'm freaking out here. First, this is an amazing photo. Don't get me wrong. The vantage is really cool. I'm
not here for that. I'm here to ruin it. I need answers.
I don't. It's so the way that this image is, the pinky looks like, obviously there's motion blur, but it feels too short for his hand, because if you were to look
at his other pinky.
You look at you compare the two, right? I mean, your hand turned in like this. If you're looking at a lens pointed at you sideways and your hand's over here, even if your hand's turned in a little bit, I still feel like even if there was some bend or if it was stiff, it would obviously be longer. But if it's coming at the lens a little bit, maybe it might feel compressed. But to me,
I've gone through it. His palm is facing up. Yes. The other three fingers are straight. It doesn't physically make sense for what you're saying to me. Maybe I'm wrong, but his pinky would have to be like at a 90-degree angle, and you would think that would draw one of the other fingers forward a little bit, but they look perfectly straight to me.
Yeah, I mean, he's the hands out, the excitement, right?
Yeah.
And he's coming out of the frame. He's, going to the right. He is going left. So,
does it look like it's Photoshopped to you?
I lean more towards Photoshop only because it doesn't feel, but again, the image is very muddy looking. It's very grainy, zoomed in like that, probably cropped, I'm guessing. But the only way that I could think that it's not Photoshop, I know you want it to be Photoshop, and now I can't unsee it, is just there's so much little motion blur and the image isn't very crisp.
Yeah.
That it's very hard to tell if the finger just some way or somehow got pushed forward.
It's the greatest athletic feat that Dwayne Wade has ever done, if that's the case. That's how I'm looking at it. All right. Well, you didn't give me the definitive answer that I was looking for, but I got what I really wanted out of it, and it's to ruin that photo for another person, because now it's all you're going to look. It'll be the first thing you look at next time that photo pops up on Twitter. I promise you. It's
but
all
I'm still going to think it's still an amazing photo, though. But
That's fine.
I can't unsee that.
That's fine. But yeah, I have obsessed over it for years.
We got to talk to the photographer. We got to find him.
Let's get him on. You probably know him. Call him up, dude. Let's get him on the show right now. All right. Well, I appreciate you entertaining me with that. Letting me get that off. It is. I'm not even joking when I tell you it's every time it resurfaces, I obsess over it. I zoom in. I'm like, I got to find out if this is true or not, especially because I've had people on Twitter yell at me about my conspiracy theories, but that seems pretty par for the course for Twitter.
That makes sense for Twitter.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into headliners. I've got some headlines here from around the league. We'll give some quick thoughts. I want to hear some of your takes on them. We're going to start in Milwaukee, where the Bucks, Brook Lopez, starting center Brook Lopez, who has not played with the Bucks since game 1 of the season, has been cleared for full contact practice.
Amazing. That's
usually the last step before you get back into the lineup. Now, the Bucks have been good this year, like kind of quietly good. Like they've 100%. had a couple of rough stretches, but like I also feel like people aren't really respecting them all that much. This has got to be huge for the Bucks, right?
Yes.
Getting this back, and not just huge for the Bucks, but huge for Giannis, who has had to play a lot of minutes at the 5 this year without Brook Lopez. And look, nobody can stop Giannis. We know that, but when you're banging down low with like other 7-footers and guys that are like 50 pounds heavier than you, it's going to wear and tear on your body. So Giannis has to be stoked that his guy is coming back so that he doesn't have to do that anymore.
No, 100%. Also, Lopez is a good defender. So having him is so important to be back. And it's crazy to think game one. And he was done, which was like, they thought it was minor.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a lot worse, which is good that they're able to like not take any chances.
Well, and to possibly get him back before the playoffs start. That's huge.
Yeah.
To have an injury like that and then be able to still come back in the same season.
Yeah. He's a good locker room presence too. So
the Lopez twins are so his brother cool. Robin, I don't know if you saw a few weeks ago, we did the Alt Stars on the show where we announced our Alt Star teams.
Yeah.
And Brook Lopez was on mine. I love the Lopez twins. They're the best personalities in the NBA, hands down.
Yeah, they're always good to be around and stuff, and always great to see them when they come to LA. You know?
For sure. Okay, so big win for the Bucks, big win for Giannis, bigger win for all of us who love the Lopez twins. All right, the next one here, LeBron James, a guy that you have taken a lot of photos of, dropped 56 points.
Insanely cool.
In a much-needed win over the Warriors. So quick question. What's the bigger thing here? Is it LeBron putting up 56 at the age of 57 or however old he is now?
37, my age.
Or oh, damn, I'm sorry. Or was it them breaking the skid that they were on and getting a win finally? Because they were in the middle of a 3 or 4 game losing streak going into that game.
I think it's both. I think they need. Okay. I think it's both. He obviously is amazing at what he does.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. 56.
That's unreal.
He still has it in the tank. That when people count him out, or call him washed or whatever, not even being biased because like I'm connected to the 2 LA teams, but you can't deny how amazing his athleticism is.
We've never seen it before.
It's like there's no comparison. But, him scoring 56, they needed that.
Yeah.
He doesn't score 56, they don't win.
Which kind of scares me too, because if you need 56, you're not getting 56 from LeBron every night.
No,
so
he can't, like his body.
You might get 55,
anymore.
But you're not getting 56. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, but like you need this kind of like superhuman performance to get the win. I'm torn as like, okay, is this a turning point where LeBron is going to kind of like, all right, I'm putting this shit on my back and we're going to turn things around here as we head into the play-in tournament? Because there's no way they're getting out of the play-in at this point. Or is it just kind of like a one-off LeBron performance and then we go back to the Lakers backsliding? Like, I don't know what to make of it yet.
He might be, he has a lot. I feel like he could be super stressed, right? Because he has a lot riding on his shoulders, especially when.
Well, the only thing not riding on his shoulders is Dwayne Wade's pinky, as we discovered before.
No, but he really has to carry the team sometimes. I feel because when you look at it from a ground level, it's like when the team is having an off moment, he always seems to be picking up the slack, or he's a good leader, he's a great leader. So but they needed that win, and I hope, in my mind, I just hope that they, like, it's like muscle memory, you remember that, and it's like you go into these next games and it's like, I know that they have a lot riding on them, but at the same time I feel that team needed that 56 out of him. They needed that momentum, that change,
like locker room stuff too, right? Is what you're talking 100%. About, like get the momentum going.
You need to feel that, and it's like he's not always going to score 56. I know he wants to, but at the same time, that team needed that win because, and if they can remember what that feels like, it's like, as an ex competitive athlete myself, it's like, you need to remember that. It's infectious in the locker room. Yeah. Because then you go in moving forward with. You
chase that feeling.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
And I think it's both.
I like that. I like that take. All right. We got another 50-point performance here, and it's Jason Tatum drops 54 over the Nets. And this was like KD's kind of like comeback, like, all right, let's right the ship. Still can't do it. I don't know if you saw KD at the end of that game. As the game like clock, 37? he put up 37, and he's just standing there shaking his head. Like it's so crazy. I mean, we've talked about it enough on this show, but it's just so crazy to me that the Nets and the Lakers are where they are in this season, considering what the expectations were coming in. But this isn't about that. Jason Tatum, 54. That's insane.
It's amazing. I saw the highlights.
I mean, so I've been riding high on Boston for the last few weeks. Clayton has given me a lot of shit for it, but he's starting to come around to it.
I could too, given that I'm wearing a Yankees hat.
I mean, fair enough. And look, I'm not like a Celtics fan by any means, but I'm just looking at what they're doing lately, and they are so good. In fact, they like kind of borderline underground network material here, because I feel like people still haven't fully given them the respect yet for how good they've been playing lately. I mean, they've got one of the best defenses in the league since the All-Star break. You got Jason Tatum dropping 54. Like, this team is becoming a real threat. And with the East kind of open right now, with the Nets being what they are, I don't know. I feel like you're talking about momentum. This could be great momentum for them as the playoffs are just right around the corner.
Yeah. I mean, sports is all about momentum, right?
Being hot at the right time.
Yeah. It's the season is obviously different than the playoffs and the finals. It's different. It's such a different feel.
Yeah.
But momentum is everything. So if you can ride that wave, like, keep it going, and you're gonna succeed. Especially if you're finding the faults in the other teams, and you're scoring 54.
Yeah.
Putting that on someone
on Kevin Durant.
One
of the greatest players in the league.
Yeah, but then even him, it's like, I feel like him scoring 37, he's just like
buried because it was in a loss and you had a guy go 54 against you. Like, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, well, from a huge Boston fan, I appreciate you giving your take on that. The last one is just a couple little positive things that I wanted to highlight.
Posy.
Porzingis makes his debut with the Wizards, puts up 25 and a win. Looked pretty good. I'm curious to see if this new, change of scenery for Porzingis helps him out. Things have not been great for him since he left New York.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can stay healthy. I don't think the Wizards are looking at any kind of playoff push, but maybe he's got a new home here in Washington, and I'm hoping the best for him. And then the other one is Victor Oladipo has been officially upgraded to questionable for the Heat. So he's looking at a return very soon here. This has got me excited. So look, I can't really tangibly tell you why, but I've not fully bought into the Heat this year.
Yeah.
They're the number one team in the East, and I just haven't fully bought into it yet.
Same.
There have been moments where I'm starting to come around. I'm like the rest of the world is with the Celtics right now. I'm just kind of like, okay, we'll see. I don't know if it's because Jimmy Butler just can't shoot threes anymore. I don't know what it is, but I think that this is huge for the Heat. Oladipo was putting up his career average of 17.5 points. He was scoring 19 points a game before he got hurt, but he's been dealing with this quad injury for 3 years. He had 2 surgeries on it.
That's rough. That's
brutal. And especially because we remember him from the dunk contest, his, young years in Orlando. And then he was Indiana, Houston. And then now he's with the Heat. I think Miami could use him. And look, in today's NBA, to have depth at the guard position and the wing position is massive. And if the Heat have anything, it is depth at those positions now, especially with him coming back in.
Yeah.
I think that he actually increases their title chances here. I don't know if you agree or disagree with that.
No, I think so too. Yeah.
So this is like massive for them, right? Because now you're looking at Jimmy Butler, Oladipo, Lowry. You've got
you have Hero. You have
Tyler Hero. Yeah. So you've got Tyler Hero. Like, you've got all of these guys. Duncan Robinson. Yeah. This team's deep, dude.
No, they are.
And Oladipo coming back it's getting more buy-in from me. I'm like, okay, I'm starting to. Just funny that Oladipo's the one doing it for me, but I don't know, man. That depth is going to help them out so much going into this playoff push.
Yeah, no, 100%.
All right. Now let's check out the Underground Network. I'm just going to kind of rant about something real quick.
Do it.
The Underground Network is a segment where we just highlight something that we feel like isn't being discussed enough.
Okay.
My Underground Network this week is the Pelicans are kind of good, and it's like not really being talked about. It's funny because like the only stories you're ever hearing about the Pelicans is Zion hurt, Zion not coming back, Zion not talking to this person. They got a little bit of coverage when CJ got traded there, CJ McCollum, and then it kind of fizzled out. But like they're quietly becoming this kind of, look, I'm not saying title contender, but a team that I think a lot of people might want to avoid if they get out of the play-in and into the playoffs. So I had this thought just watching them. And then the other day, Michael Pena over at Sports Illustrated wrote an article, and he like perfectly articulated everything that I've been thinking.
Yeah.
A couple things I want to highlight from this, right? Since February 1st, so for the last month, they've had the 4th best offense and the 4th best defense in the NBA.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's talking about this. They're top 5 in both sides of the ball since February 1st. Unreal. McCollum, he's been on an absolute tear. I know that like they don't get a lot of nationally televised games, but like pay attention because like CJ McCollum, I feel like, he's always kind of been in the shadow of Dame his entire career. Him coming here and somewhat being like a 1A guy, right? Like it's him and Brandon Ingram right now.
Yeah.
Is showing that he's capable of stepping into that position. He's scoring 26.6 points a game right now since he got to New Orleans. 26.6 a game.
I love CJ.
That's dude. The only other players that have scored more since the trade deadline are Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, and DeMar DeRozan.
That's it?
That's it. Those are the only people that have scored more points than him since the trade deadline. He's killing it for them. And it's not just offense. As I just said, their defense is absolutely elite currently. And they just changed up the starting lineup. Starting five just kind of got shifted around, and it's massive. So this is the starting five they're rolling out right now. Jackson Hayes, Jonas Valanciunas, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, CJ McCollum. So that's two dudes that are 6'11". Basically two 7-footers.
Jackson's huge.
Two forwards that are 6'8", and then a 6'3" guy in CJ McCollum. That's a massive lineup. Yeah. And they're switching everything, minus Valanciunas, who doesn't switch a lot. But they're making it so difficult for opposing teams to do anything with all of that length. Yeah. And then turning it into elite offense on the other side of the court. Dude, the Pels people need to start paying attention. And then you think about the fact they don't have Zion yet.
Yeah.
They get to add Zion into the mix, and who knows how that plays out. Maybe he's going to ask out, maybe whatever. But you're adding a guy like Zion into a team that is doing this already. That's terrifying.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you look at the future, and yes, they got Zion. They also have this trove of assets that they got from the Anthony Davis deal. I don't think they're going to use all of those picks, so they could easily use those picks to try to get somebody else to add to this. Maybe you do want a true kind of point guard, ball handler, playmaker to add in there. Dude, the Pelicans, I think in the next couple of years could become quickly a very good team in the West, which is seemingly wide open right now.
Right.
I had to throw them in here because I don't think enough people are paying attention to kind of like the quiet storm that's brewing in New Orleans, because all the attention has been Zion is in Portland rehabbing, and he just got back to New Orleans. They just announced he's back with the team. Man, there's kind of a sleeping giant in New Orleans right now, and I don't think enough people are paying attention.
Yeah, I really want to see them do well. It's a fun team to watch, especially right now.
Yeah, and they own the LA teams for whatever reason. Neither LA team can beat them, and those are the two teams in the play-in. Like, they could knock somebody big out and then get in the playoffs and make it a nightmare for somebody else.
Yeah, you haven't seen Zion that much. Yeah, and I want to see him shine. I want to see him win. You see John Morant, who's a favorite of mine. You see all these guys thriving, which they should be. And, but with Zion, I want to see what he can actually do, 100% of the time and not just partial, because it's scary. Like, I've seen it. I've seen
terrifying.
I've seen him play, and I know what he's capable of. So just imagine if you add that ingredient to the mix of that team.
This is what I'm saying, dude.
It might, sometimes you think it might not mesh, but I always lean more towards the positive. And I think that adding him into that group of guys could be very, very terrifying.
Yeah, like, it's a total sleeping giant right now. So I just wanted to highlight that. It's crazy. More people watch the Pelicans, because it's insane what they're doing right now. All right. Going to the next segment here. Start today. So this segment is, it's if the playoffs started right now, today, how would it play out? So we're players missing, whatever. And we're not doing the play-in. This is old school. We're just doing 1 through 8 in each conference. Yeah, right now. So if the playoffs started today, we're going to rapid fire the playoff bracket.
Okay.
And we're going to crown a champion today. And the whole goal of us doing this is we do this every couple weeks. And then at the end of the year, we're going to see, okay, how many teams won the championship, and if that's how it ends up happening in the actual finals. So now I will say, quick disclaimer here, the current bracket, which you can see right here, it's from Monday. We're recording this Monday morning. I have to go out of town Tuesday, so there might be a couple games to change things. The reason why I say that is there are like 4 or 5 teams tied in the playoff standings in the East. So a half game could change somebody's seeding, but this is where it was Monday morning.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. We're still going to go through. So I'm going to take the East. You're going to take the West. All right. We're going to start in the East, because those are the first games always. Those are the early games. So the 1-8 matchup is the Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets, who have not made an appearance in a while, and start today. They knocked out Brooklyn. They are now the 8th seed. The Miami Heat versus the Charlotte Hornets. Heat. I think it's an easy one. I think the Heat win this pretty quickly. Charlotte they completely punted defense at the trade deadline. They've got a great offense, but I think Miami they're way too powerful for Charlotte to get past them. So I think that's an easy win. The 2-7, the new look Sixers versus the Raptors. Now, we've been high on the Raptors here. They've had some stretches that were really impressive. I got the Philly doing it. I'm just going to let you know right now, I have the rose-tinted glasses on the James Harden Heat. James Harden Sixers. They look so good.
Yeah.
I think and without OG Anunoby, I just don't think Toronto really stands a chance here. I think it's a quick series. 3-6. The Bucks versus the Cavs. Bucks. It's Bucks easy. Bucks. And it's easy because the Cavs don't have Jared Allen right now. He just broke his finger and he's out indefinitely.
Yeah.
Without that guy who has been unbelievably good this year. And look, I think the rest of the roster is great. I've been very high on the Cavs this year, having so much fun watching them. Giannis is just too good. I don't see anybody stopping Giannis in that series. All right, we're going to go out west here. Oh, I'm sorry, one more. The 4-5.
Yeah, 4-5.
4-5. The Chicago Bulls and your Boston Celtics.
Nice try.
I am taking the Celtics here. The Bulls have kind of they've been good. They've been good in the face of adversity with guys in and out of the lineup. And look, DeRozan is having an incredible year.
Yeah.
But as we said earlier, it's all about momentum. This
and
league,
you're high on Tatum right now. You're high on the Celtics.
Look, Jason Tatum, great. Jaylen Brown, my favorite player in the league. What they're doing right now is just kind of undeniable at this point.
Yeah.
I've got Boston winning this series. Some people are going to call me crazy, but I got Boston winning the series. So let's go west. The 1-8 matchup. You got the Phoenix Suns versus the Clippers. Now, remind you, Phoenix is without Chris Paul and without Devin Booker, who's in health and safety protocols. The Clippers, obviously, without Norman Powell, Kawhi, Paul George. Who's winning this series?
Bias aside, I think with those injuries and currently, as you say, start today. I say the Clippers.
That's who I got too.
Ty Lue, I mean,
that is the factor here, right?
Always finding a way.
Like DeAndre Ayton is the best player on the floor.
Yes.
In this series. But Ty Lue has shown over and over this season, no matter who he has on the roster, he's getting the best out of them. Okay, look, as long as they're not playing the Knicks or the Pelicans, they're in good shape. They've got a fighting chance here. I'm picking the Clippers too. I agree with that 100%. And it comes down to Ty Lue.
But the Suns are still really good. It's just, if it was today, like you said, it's like...
And look, they are good. Even without Devin Booker, they played a really tough game against Milwaukee the other day.
Yeah.
Like, they are going toe-to-toe with these teams, but it's 7 games, man. And Ty Lue has shown that he is a tactician that can make adjustments, and I just believe that he's able to get the best out of these guys.
It's a slugfest. Shout out to Scott Vogel.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so the 2-7 matchup, the Golden State Warriors versus the Timberwolves.
Timberwolves have momentum. That's a team that has momentum. But it's like the Golden State Warriors are so good. I see that they have such a deep bag of tricks, and I don't know. That's going to be a great series. If it, it's like if that's
it'll
how
be
it
a barn burner for sure.
If that's how it plays out, man, that's a tough one. I lean towards Golden State, but Pat Bev and the whole gang.
Let me remind you, the Warriors without Draymond.
True, but also, Pat Bev, is like such a key component there, and I'm a fan, so and it for me. I see that team really going far as long as they keep their momentum and they stay true to themselves. But yeah, that's good. Like I don't know.
Pick a team, man. You got to pick a team. If
Pat Bev and Towns and all those guys come together and they keep their momentum, I lean with the Timberwolves.
We're picking the Wolves then.
Yeah.
It's the Wolves. I love it. That's who I would have picked.
Yeah.
Because the Warriors have kind of been cold lately. They haven't been great, and they just lost
a bunch of games in a row, right?
Yeah, they're backsliding a little bit, and this is start today. It's all about momentum. Wolves, I'm with you. I love it. I love that you were scared to do it, but I'm glad you did it.
Yeah.
All right, 3-6. We've got the Memphis Grizzlies versus the Denver Nuggets. Who's winning that series?
No Murray.
No Murray, no Michael Porter Jr.
John Morant, that momentum. I like the Nuggets, but I also like Memphis, and that team has so much life.
Yeah. No, they're incredible. I think that's the right pick. I think it is the Grizzlies. They're so good. They're about to take the 2 seed in the West.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. And then last one, 4-5, we got the Utah Jazz versus the Dallas Mavericks.
I feel Luka is another one that carries that team sometimes on his shoulders, but man, I kind of gonna go against them.
You're picking the Jazz.
The Jazz are so good. I think
they're good in the regular season.
Yeah, I know they've had a bad rep in the playoffs, right?
The problem is one of their best players is Rudy Gobert. They have never figured out what to do when teams go small against them. With Maxi Kleber and Luka Doncic and Dorian Finney-Smith, they're able to go small against the Jazz and kind of eliminate their second best player, first best player, their best defender. You're picking the Jazz though?
Yeah, because I when I see Rudy and Donovan and all these guys do well, it's a scary team. When that team is figured it out and it's on,
no doubt,
I'm going with the Jazz.
Okay. I think that they're regular season frauds, but okay. You pick the team, so it's the Jazz. All right. Back out east, we got the semis. The Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. I'm taking the Heat on this one.
Oh, you're gonna?
I think Miami wins this one.
You lost the Boston high now.
I just look. Miami, there's no denying that they're a good team this year. And I think that they have enough wings to keep up with the elite wings in Boston. And if you take the wings off the table, Kyle Lowry, you've got, I believe in what Miami has over. Look, is Al Horford keeping up with Bam Adebayo? Is Robert Williams keeping up with Bam Adebayo? I don't think so. So I'm taking the Heat to win this series. And then you've got the Philly 76ers versus the Milwaukee Bucks.
You better say Milwaukee.
I'm picking the Sixers.
What?
I'm picking the Sixers. Joel Embiid and James Harden playing as well as he's been playing. Look, you can swap Harden you can swap Embiid and Giannis, right? Those cancel each other out. I think Harden is the best player left on the court in that series. And to have a number 2 that strong, I think takes them over. Personally, start today.
Yeah.
And they are hot. All right. West semis. Clippers, Jazz. Who's winning?
Clippers, Jazz.
Yeah.
Start today. Here we go. I gotta go. I still gotta go with the Clippers.
You're taking the. Oh, I fucking love this pick.
And not just because you got the hoodie. I really think like when they figure it out, and they're such a good, like they have such good togetherness as a team. When they figure it out and they carry their momentum, you never rule the Clippers out.
Wow.
I'm an underdog. I like myself. So for me, I'm going to go with the team that you always feel like you're going to kick when they're down.
Okay.
So.
Wow. I'm shocked, but I love it. It is a very controversial pick, and I love it. Okay. And then we got the Wolves and the Grizzlies. Who's winning that series?
Wolves, Grizzlies. Like I said, momentum, Timberwolves, but if Ja Morant, they're playing the way that they have been showing us all season, for the most part, and they figure it out, it's gonna probably go the Grizzlies.
I've got Ja winning this one easy.
Yeah.
I think it's like a 5-game series.
He's gonna turn heads and stuff. Like
you got Ja, you got Desmond Bane, you've got Triple J. Like that team is so stacked. I think that's a pretty easy win for them. All right, this is getting interesting. I love this. All right, now we've got the East Finals: Miami Heat versus the Sixers. I think this is where the Heat run out of gas. I've got the Sixers beating the Heat in a 7-game series.
Okay, so you're taking the Sixers all
I
the
am
way,
so high on this new look Sixers. And look, this is shocking coming from me because I'm a guy who does not believe in Doc Rivers in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But Embiid and James Harden, if they are going to keep getting to the line the way that they are winning all of these series with free throws.
Yeah.
Like the amount of, dude, Joel Embiid's going to the line 15 to 20 times a game right now.
Yeah.
that's going to be enough to take them to the finals, which is where I have them going to the finals. All right, let's find out who's making the finals from the West. So you've got the Clippers versus the Grizzlies.
Wow, put me on the spot. Oh man. See, the Grizzlies, wouldn't that be a crazy story? Like if this was even
start today, man.
Start today. If the Grizzlies went to finals, like
it's the way the bracket goes. Does that mean you're picking the Grizzlies?
See, I lean with the Clippers only on momentum, but it start today. But because it start today and they don't have, there's no Kawhi, there's no
Their
PG.
Three best players are gone.
No those guys
I
are
think
out.
it's shocking that you have them in the conference finals.
Like, hey, but you know what? I believe in them because I've seen what they can do,
no,
and
I hear
if they continue that, it's scary. But I have to go with the Grizzlies on this one if it starts today and it's like right now
that's the correct pick.
Because yeah, I know the Clippers would duke it out with them and they might give them a couple losses, but
they've not been able to keep up with them this season.
But that Memphis team, and can you imagine that story though?
I love it.
That them being in the finals and them doing like Ja Morant, like
look, if this makes you feel any better, last time we did start today, I had the Grizzlies in the finals.
Wow. Okay, so I'm not alone in this.
You're not alone.
And I'm not. I feel like people will understand where I'm coming from.
And if they don't, who cares, man?
Yeah.
You're the guest. This is your bracket. I love it. Okay, so we've got the Sixers versus the Grizzlies. I'm picking the champion this time. I'm picking the Sixers.
Of course you
I've got the Sixers winning this one. Look, Memphis is great. And for all of those kind of reasons that we're giving you hesitation is why I think Philly wins this series. Look, it's incredible for the Grizzlies to get all the way to the finals. To go from, this young kind of like fun team to, oh shit, this team's pretty good to, oh shit, they might grab the 2 seed to, oh shit, they're kind of a contender. The lack of experience I think is what catches them here.
Yeah.
Dude, Philly is so deep. It's not just Embiid and Harden. Tyrese Maxey just put up 30 points in a game the other night. And then you still have Tobias Harris.
Yep.
Like you've got, you might laugh when I say this, Furkan Korkmaz. Like you've got these guys that are capable of hitting shots, playing their roles really well, which is why I believe in Philly so much right now. I got to see them lose some of that before I stop believing in what I've seen in the few games that they've played with their full roster finally. This is the first time all season we've seen them with a full roster. Very high on them. So we got Philly winning. We're going to come back in a couple weeks. We'll see how it plays out again. I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah, of course.
It was super fun. All right, real quick, we're going to step away and we're going to cut to, like I said at the top, we got Clayton on tour, on video to play Duo Jam with me this week, which is the best fantasy segment in basketball. So let's cut to that. We'll be right back. Clayton, how are you? How's it going?
Hey.
You're on the road.
Yes, I am in a beautiful, sunny San Diego, California, undisclosed hotel room.
No, dox yourself. Tell us exactly where.
It's a beautiful motel with all of the beautiful amenities that anyone could ever ask for. And now I'm drinking a big coffee.
Ooh, a Bev man. I like it.
Oh yeah, big time. So that's where I'm at right now. And I actually have the day off, which if you can't tell from my voice, I could certainly use. Because it turns out that screaming at people isn't good for your voice. Just a little PSA for the people out there.
Yeah, that's completely fair. How's tour going so far?
Tour's been pretty amazing so far, honestly. We've played just in California so far. So we did Oakland and then Los Angeles and then San Diego. And it was crazy. It's always a bit of a whirlwind in California. There's friends and family and all that stuff. So it kind of makes it crazy. But the opening bands on the tour, they're Thirdface from Nashville. They're a really cool hardcore band. Kind of like spazzy, like Converge, but with like a DIY kind of different thing going on too. Some Jesus Lizardy stuff in there. Oh, cool. And there's a really cool band. Definitely check them out. And then a band called Gleamer from Denver. They're kind of like really pretty shoegazy indie stuff. And then of course Vane is with us on the entire tour, and their record just came out, and been pretty crazy. So just having a blast, honestly, getting to know everybody and starting to get into the swing of it.
Awesome. Well, we miss you. We miss you here in the alternate studios. We're obviously, you're in your hotel room. I am in the office right now. As we record this, I'm on my way just after this to go record the rest of this episode, actually. But this will be airing at the end of the episode, so that won't make any sense. But we're happy. We're happy that you're able to join us. We're going to get into Duo Jam real quick, though. Before we get into it, have you met any basketball fans? Any alts out there?
Yeah, no, I've been talking to some people. Like I said, in California so far, there's a lot of people I know or friends of friends type stuff who've said they've been watching the show and stuff like that. So it's
awesome.
Really, really fun and exciting. And yeah, of course, anyone out there, like I said before, if you are around and you want to come out to the show or you want to talk basketball, talk music, whatever, just get in touch with me, get in touch with the show, and we'll hang out.
Great. I love that. All right. So let's get into Duo Jam. So this last week we had the matchup. It was the land versus air matchup. We had the Mavs versus the Hawks. I took the Mavs. You took the Hawks. So my duo that I picked was Luka Doncic, who put up 111.6 fantasy points last week. I took a little bit of a gamble with my second pick, and it was Spencer Dinwiddie. He seemed like he was excited to be in Dallas, was kind of, the honeymoon phase was in full effect. And so I wanted to try to capitalize on that. I could have gone Jalen Brunson. I could have gone Dorian Finney-Smith. There were a couple options, but I went with Spencer Dinwiddie. Turned out to be pretty smart. He put up 102.3 points. Now, that's combined 213.9 points. Your Hawks, good God, Trae Young had 142.3 points.
My God.
Insane. Absolutely insane. And you paired him up with DeAndre Hunter. You love the traditional NBA Jam duos, the guard plus a big. And he only put up 71.1 points for a combined 213.4. I beat you by half a point. 0.5 points. When I was totaling everything up, I saw Trae Young's score and I was like, oh, I'm fucked. There's no way I'm winning this. This is just another loss for me this season. And then when I added everything up, I couldn't believe it. I did it 3 times. I had to add it up 3 times. It was like, there's no way that I won by half a point.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So very excited. That gives me a record of 3-5 on the season. You go to 5-3. I'm slowly trying to creep my way back to 500 here. I will take the win. Wins is all that matters. Okay. So this week we have a fun matchup. I wanted to go, if nobody has picked it up, we do a little bit of a theme here with every single one of these. And the theme this week was teams that are performing under expectation in a team that's performing over expectation. So it's the Spurs versus the Knicks. The Spurs, nobody really thought anything about. Look, they're not great, but as we highlighted in the Underground Network, they got a superstar on their team. They have been a ton of fun to watch. And then the Knicks, who were a playoff team last year, everybody had very high hopes for them. Although they did just beat the Clippers. They can put that feather in their cap. But
nice little ESPN win to subside the fans for a week or so.
They, for some reason, own the Clippers, them and the Pelicans. I don't understand it. So I am going to take the Spurs. That leaves you with the Nets. I'm sorry, with the Knicks. Same difference at this point, right?
Well, yeah, they're both like 0 and 50 in their last 50.
Exactly. Okay, so my first pick, it's obvious. It's DeJounte Murray, the underground superstar. Yes. He's having a great season. He's doing a little bit of everything. Easy pick. The next one, I thought I knew who I was going to pick going into this. And then as I started diving into the roster, looking at some of the stats, who's doing this or that, I realized I have become Clayton because I'm pairing him with the big, and it's Jakob Poeltl. So I've got DeJounte Murray and Jakob Poeltl as my duo jam. Speaking of Poeltl, by the way, have you seen this new game? There's a basketball podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
The Wordle version called Birdle. Right.
It is very
I haven't played
fun.
it yet. You've been playing it?
Yeah, it's very fun. It's like I loved the first one so much because it was just a black outline of a player and you had to guess who it was. And it was Nikola Vucevic. And I knew immediately.
That's too easy for you.
Yeah. All my years of watching the Magic, I was like, I know exactly who. It's the GOAT. Okay. So who do you have coming out of New York?
Okay. So speaking of superstars, I'm starting off easy.
Kemba.
I wish I could choose Kemba. You know I'm pro Kemba. The all fans out there know I'm pro Kemba, but I can't choose Kemba with his bizarre situation going on there. So I got to go with the superstar. I got to go with RJ Barrett first and foremost.
He's been incredible.
He's been incredible in the last month or so, 3 weeks, really starting to use his size. I mean, in that Clippers game, he was bullying Terrence Mann, bullying guys that you just don't see get bullied like that. So definitely going with RJ Barrett. Now the second choice, kind of same, right? Like they're a tough team to choose. I could go Fournier, Burks, right? Those are kind of the scorers on the team. But you know what? I'm just going
Cam
outside
Reddish. I love it. You're going Cam Reddish.
Man, if my guy Tibbs would just play him, his minutes so far have been good when he gets in there. He's been pretty efficient. So I do think there's some more minutes coming for Cam. But no, I decided to go out, no traditional. I'm just going with the two bullies, Julius Randle and RJ Barrett.
Okay.
So
I mean, that's somewhat traditional.
Yeah, I mean, it's like they're two just like forwards. Like, I mean, I guess maybe RJ Barrett isn't really a forward, whatever you want to call him. He's
a combo wing, yeah.
Yeah, just a beast. And you know what, Julius Randle coming off a bit of a tough game. I think he's going to bounce back for me. And New York, going to bing bong me to another victory.
So here's the deal. If you win this week with the Knicks, I want you to play the game or your show, whatever, after Sunday, right? So next Monday or Tuesday, if you're playing a show that day. I want you to dress up as the Spider-Man from the Bing Bong video. You have to play the entire show as Spider-Man. How does that sound?
Easy. Yeah, okay. Of course.
Done.
Absolutely.
I've never wanted to lose more in my life. All right. Well, we're going to see what happens with this. Hopefully this gets me my 4th win. I've got DeJounte Murray. I'm believing in DeJounte Murray to do this for me, but we'll see. The basketball gods have been punishing me for some reason during Duo Jam, so I'm not sure exactly how we're going to end up on this, but I'm excited to see how it plays out. Clayton, man, I'm so happy that you had a moment to set aside to do this. We wish you all the best. We love you. We miss you around here. This episode Tuesday morning. Where are you playing Tuesday and Wednesday? Maybe we get some people out there.
Yeah, so got some shows coming up Tuesday tonight. We'll be playing Phoenix at the Rebel Lounge, and then basically go to Texas the rest of the week. So Thursday the 10th, I'll be in Austin at Mohawk. Friday, Dallas at Club Dada, and Saturday, Houston Warehouse Live.
Incredible. So, okay.
Yeah, anyone out there in Texas or Arizona, get in touch.
Maybe I'll send my boy DeJounte out to Austin and he can come check you out.
I mean, Pop's going to be there, so yeah.
big post hardcore fan, Popovich.
Yeah.
Actually, I could see it. He's a bit surly. I could see him being into some form of punk rock.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could see him having a nice glass of wine in the back, enjoying the show,
drinking a cab and just screaming along. All
exactly.
Right, man. Well, I'm going to let you go. I'm sure you got a lot to do. Hit the road. Love you. Appreciate you. We'll talk soon. We'll check in. Be safe out there. Yeah, buddy. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much. Love you. Love you all. Thank you so much.
All right, bud. All right. That is today's show. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us. This was so much fun.
I could do this like for hours and hours. We
will definitely get you back in here. Very much looking forward to that. Real quick, before we get out of here, the alternates, watchers, followers, listeners, where can they follow your work? Because I love seeing all the photos that you post from the games and all of that. Where can they catch it?
There's 2 places. Tyler Rossity on Instagram.
Okay.
I don't post a ton, but when I do, I feel that's my best work. TYLEROSSITY. And my website, which I need to update, is atrocityphotography.com. So
Okay.
it's ATROSSITY photography.com. And that is a survey of a lot of different things from,
Sick.
you know, music, comedy, film, TV, all that stuff.
Incredible. Well, I will link both of those things in the episode description so everybody can
Sweet, I
click on them,
appreciate
follow along, and check out your work because you truly do great work. Like I said, we will have you back again at some point because this was so much fun. We will be back Thursday with another episode, jumping into the headliners. We're going to play 3-pack, which is my favorite segment. And then, of course, it's the last episode for the weekend. That means we're going to the casino and we're going to be putting some money down in Bet Brains. Looking forward to that. Love you all so much. Appreciate it. I am going to leave you with a song from Thirdface, which is one of the bands Clayton was talking about during duo jams that he's on tour with. The song is called Local from their 2021 LP, Do It With a Smile, on Exploding Sounds and Convulse Records. Thank you all so much. We'll see you in a couple days.